Hi, Attorney Steve Vondran. We're back, licensed practice law, California and Arizona. We are talking in this video about a very important question. Will I lose my real estate license if I have to report a DUI, that's supposed to say, or marijuana conviction, marijuana-related conviction? So this was a question that popped up recently, and I thought it was worth doing a video because I think we've had a lot of questions like this over the years. So I thought it was good just to give some general legal information here. If you need more information, here's our website, brokercounsel.com. But let's go through this question. I think it's a very good question and a way to look and analyze how the BRE, the California Bureau of Real Estate, may take a look at your case if you have a conviction, okay? And what a lot of people know, it's not really related to convictions, but let's walk through it here. So under California Business and Professions Code, section 101-862, there's the code section, you see it right there, there is a duty to report criminal convictions to the Bureau of Real Estate. Again, realize it's not only criminal convictions. We'll talk about this in a second. But it says here, a real estate licensee should submit a report on any of the following. Any of the following. Do you see that? 1, the bringing of an indictment or an information charging a felony. So that means if somebody has charged you with a felony, that's not even a conviction, right? That's just charging you, then you need to report that. Why? It's a serious crime. They want to look into it. They want to keep their eye on it. They want to know what's going on. The Bureau of Real Estate's duty is to protect the public. So they're going to be taking a close look, keeping an eye on, and monitoring real estate licensees. There's my low battery sign. I better hurry up. So 2, so you disclose that within 30 days. 2, the conviction of the license, including any verdict of guilty, plea of guilty, or no contest, or any felony or misdemeanor. So if you are convicted, if you've pled guilty, if you pled no contest, what we call nolo contendre, if you've done that to any felony or misdemeanor, you need to disclose it within 30 days. Don't waste your time. It's got to be in writing. Get it done, get it in, get it over with, okay? What you should do is call us. We can help you package it up, make it look nice, soften up the blow, so to speak. So that's something we can help you with. But look at number C. This is one I think that a lot of people aren't aware of and catches people by surprise sometimes if they get an accusation or a statement of issues. They see here, you must report any disciplinary action taken by another licensing entity. Well, there's a lot of licensing entities, we know that. A lot of people have 2 licenses. They may have a real estate license and an MLO lending license. So you could have multiple licenses. You could have an appraiser's license, all kinds of licenses. So if you have any disciplinary action taken by another licensing entity or authority of this state or even another state. Did you see that? Even another state or an agency of the federal government. So that's pretty broad, and a lot of people are not aware of this in the real estate business. This would probably surprise them if it was on a multiple choice exam. They would miss it. They would go, what? I report a disciplinary action? And the question is, well, what is a disciplinary action? It could be lots of things. So you have to consult with a real estate lawyer, use your discretion on that. That is something that may require some deep thought and some deep consideration. So my tip here, Attorney Steve's tip, must report within 30 days. If it falls within A, B, or C, one of these 3 categories here, failure to report could lead, in and of itself, could lead to disciplinary action. Why? You're trying to fool the department. You're trying to shove something under the rug. You're not complying with the statutes. So I know it's painful, but if you're convicted, if you're in one of these 3 situations, somebody brings a felony against you, do the right thing, report it, own up, face up, man up, as they say, and deal with the consequences, okay? Could be a woman too. All right, here's a DRE. Here's a reference link for you if you need some more information about that. Now, some people will ask the follow-up question, as they say, begs the question, well, what happens when you report? What are they going to do? Okay, well, Attorney Steve's got you covered here. We're going to take a quick look at that. The Cal BRE review process, okay, looking for substantially similar crimes. This is the big thing for the BRE. They're asking, what they're looking at is your criminal conviction, is your discipline, is your felony, is it substantially related, don't say it 5 times fast, is it substantially similar to the duties, qualifications, and functions of the real estate profession? If it's substantially similar, then you could find yourself in a problem where they want to take discipline. Why? Because it's related to the business. If you're doing something like forgery or fraud, they consider that to be related to the business of real estate, to the duties of real estate, to the qualifications to be a real estate licensee. And so they are going to take these very serious, okay? So it's very important. Now, if it's not substantially related, if it's something totally different, maybe you were swimming and you crossed into a territory where there was no need. You violated some local rule because you crossed into the territory that you shouldn't have. Well, you're swimming. That has nothing to do with real estate. Okay, so things like that. If it's not substantially related, you should be good. Quote, you should be good. Doesn't mean you're always good. We have to look at it. The BRE will be looking at the totality of the circumstances. They will be looking at all the facts, all the surrounding circumstances, your conduct, police reports, everything, okay? So what is the substantial similarity test? This is the big test that the BRE is going to be looking at. And you can find this here if you're a code buff. You like to look up the code. Here it is, 10 CCR. That's California Code of Regulations, Section 2910. It's the criteria of substantial relationship. This is how lawyers, as we go through documents, some people ask, what's it like being a lawyer? Well, this is what it's like. This is what we do, okay? So here's your code section where you're looking through it, and it says, when considering whether a license should be denied, suspended, or revoked on the basis of a conviction of a crime, or on the other basis, blah, 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 if it's substantially related to the duties, qualifications, and functions, you'll keep seeing these words everywhere you look, okay? And it gives the criteria. This is it. If you're in one of these sections here, and it goes to, what, 11? 11 sections, then it's going to be deemed substantially similar, okay? So what kinds of things are we talking about? Let's take a look. Number one, fraudulent taking, okay? So I'm not going to read these. You can go read these yourselves, but if you're doing something fraudulent, that's going to be an issue. Number two, counterfeiting, forgery, altering instruments, that's not good. Falsifying a deed of trust, for example, falsely notarized documents, those kinds of things. Again, seems like it's related to real estate. You fill out a lot of documents, forms, this, that. They want to make sure you know how to be honest in that sort of situation. Number three, things that are willfully attempting to derive a personal financial benefit through the non-payment or underpayment of taxes or levies. Okay, so you got to be careful. If you're trying to cheat the government, this could be a big problem for you. Somehow that is substantially related to real estate. I guess if you're going to cheat the government, I guess you would be cheating the BRE. So that's an interesting one in there, okay? Number four, bribery, fraud, deceit, falsehood, misrepresentations to achieve an end. Okay, that's pretty broad, pretty wide open. That could be a lot of things. Bribery, that's a term of art. Fraud, that could be a lot of different things. Charged with fraud, deceit, falsehood. So that could be a big wide open area. This is where it's good to get your legal counsel involved. We're trained in what these words mean and how to argue them and providing the case law that's either for, that's basically shining it in the best light for you. There's usually case law on all sides of the fence. 5, sexually related conducts, things that you're doing. I'm not sure how that's related to real estate, but I guess in theory you could have an open house. You could have a woman there or a man there or something and have weird devious thoughts with non-consenting partners, as you see. So, your rape and things like that. So I'm not quite sure, again, truthfully speaking, how that's analytically related, but it is under the code and you have to deal with it. Willfully failing, number 6, to comply with this division of the Business and Professions Code. You can look that up if you're interested. There's a lot of stuff. Let's just call it example, acting without a real estate license. Number 7, failing to comply with statutory requirements, for example, originating a loan without the proper NMLS or MLO endorsement. Now you need those, of course, everybody knows, but if you're trying to do loans without a license, not complying with statutory requirements, so forth and so on, that's another one. Again, when you're in the real estate profession, they expect you to know, understand, and follow the laws. So if you can't follow certain statutory requirements, they'll think, wow, how are you going to make it in real estate if you can't handle all that? 8, this is a big one, and this one just came up in a medical marijuana case that we were dealing with. But it was any unlawful act with the intent of conferring a financial or economic benefit upon a perpetrator. Okay, so, or intent or threat to do substantial injury. Fine. So that may be related as well to the qualifications. You don't want to beat up your customers because you don't get a deal, those kinds of things. But this one was interesting, the intent of conferring a financial or economic benefit upon a perpetrator. And we had that. I'm not going to go into details due to client privacy, but a very interesting case where in my conversations with the attorney from the BRE, I was informed that not following the federal medical marijuana laws, even though it was legal in California, is a violation of this because it's trying to confer a benefit. So anyway, I just want you to be aware of that. This was something new that I hadn't heard of, and it was really interesting. So we're trying to work through that and see if we can find some way to reason, because you do have your state laws and your federal laws. You do have federalism, you do have states' rights, the United States Constitution, 10th Amendment. So there's a lot of talk about medical marijuana. If your conviction involves marijuana or DUIs, definitely give us a call. Okay, number 9, contempt of court order. Okay, court issues an order, you violate it, you're not following authority, that's going to get you. Number 10, conduct which demonstrates a repeated pattern of willful disregard for the law. So this could be your second and third time crimes. You're doing something over and over, graffiti, shoplifting. You just continue to do these same things over and over. So repeated disrespect for the law is sort of an indicator that you can't follow the law or you don't care to follow the law, especially after you've been put on notice one time, then you go do it again. So it's that kind of thing. 11, 2 or more, here's your DUI or drugs right here, okay? This is probably the payoff. This is what you were looking for. 2 or more convictions involving the consumption or use of alcohol or drugs. 2 or more convictions, okay? So there it is. When at least one of the convictions involves driving and the use or consumption of alcohol or drugs. So here's your key clause for the DUI question that we posed at the beginning of this video. 2 or more convictions involving the consumption or use of alcohol or drugs. So again, these are very important. If you have to report these crimes, again, call us. We are real estate lawyers. We have over a decade of experience dealing with the BRE, with a lot of their investigators and lawyers, and so we can help you prepare the package, put you in the best light, and give you the best chance of navigating your way through this, okay? And finally, just a subnote, the conviction of a crime, if it's an attempt, solicitation, or conspiracy, those are variations of the criminal law. If you attempt to do something or you're soliciting somebody to do something or involved in a conspiracy, same diff, okay? So if the crimes were substantially related, here's point C. As you will note here, the context of the crime shall go only to the question of the weight to be accorded to the crime or acts, and that is something that's going to be considered. So if you find yourself in these situations, again, we've been doing this for over a decade. I myself am licensed to practice law in California and Arizona. I have a broker's license in California and Arizona. And these are our services: accusation, statement of issues, investigation, subpoena response, audits, complaints, responding to complaints, ethical disputes, arbitration matters, board arbitrations, commission disputes, litigation, social media, and IP disputes. So that's about as fast as I can put it to you. When it comes to real estate law, experience matters. Google us, check out our AVO reviews, and if you have some more information, need some help, give us a call, 877-276-5084. Our real estate library, basically, our resource center is located at brokercounsel.com. That's brokercounsel.com. So treasure trove of information there for you, videos, documents, all kinds of things. We look forward to working with you, and I hope this has been a helpful video. Thank you so much. General legal information only. We look forward to working with you. Take care now.